Elimu ni taa inayoangaza giza linalojitokeza.
Unahisi kuwa matatizo tunayoyapata ya nidhamu ama ya kinidhamu shuleni, tatizo ni wazazi ama ni wanafunzi?
Ni dhahiri shahiri kuwa wazazi wanachangia ukosefu wa nidhamu ya wanafunzi shuleni.
Unapata ya kwamba mzazi badala kuangalia mtoto wake kile ambacho anachofanya shuleni, yeye anachilia mtoto kujiangalia mwenyewe.
Vipi waiza kisomo?
Bungulu alikuwa anaendeleza utamaduni katika jamii.
Mwalimu wa pili kama vipi cheza kama wewe, mimi nimesepa. Wanafunzi twendeni kazi.
There was no nabbing that was done, so it was just done raw.
She is a survivor of female genital mutilation, FGM.
It's a practice that is long gone, that is not useful.
It's denying someone of something that we think is a basic human sense, like smell or sight.
They should stop that with immediate effect. They should know that they are messing up with people's lives.
The benefits of a woman having the clitoral restoration surgery, it restores her identity as a woman.
Now, while marriage is often considered a sacred and binding commitment, statements such as divorce is necessary go further to acknowledge the fact that in certain situations, ending the marriage is the only viable option.
So there is the self-stigma. Apart from the social stigmatization, there is the self-stigma that you carry with yourself. And the reality of I am a different woman. There is the pain of losing a partner. Am I leaving my children? And by the way, it's not bad to leave children.
Yeah.
No, as long as they are safe.
Again, the famous book, which again, with insight, it's actually a very good book in the Bible. Proverbs 31 woman, the husband is proud of her, and you're thinking, oops.
It is exactly at the top of the hour. Welcome to our broadcast. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. Talk to us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 and at Abdiaziz Hashim 2. Let's start in the eastern part of the country, where Machakos Governor, that is Wavinya Ndeti, has reaffirmed that the Kamba community is part of the Gikuyu, Embu and Meru Association, that is GEMA, and urged for unity in national politics ahead of the 2027 elections. Speaking at a burial in Masinga, Governor Ndeti cautioned against divisive politics and called on community to rally behind Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka in his presidential bid. Governor Ndeti also pressed the national government to uphold the constitutional mandates by ensuring fair resource distribution to counties.
Na sisi we are part of the southern, inaitwa Ngema South. We are part of Ngema South. Na hakuna kugawanya Mkamba na Mkikuyu tena. Watu walikuwa wamezoea kutugawanya, sisi hatugawanyiki, sisi tutakaa wote pamoja na tupatiane heshima.
Still on the political front, Jubilee political party leadership has promised its supporters a free and fair nomination during party primaries ahead of the 2027 general election. Party Secretary General, that is Jeremiah Kioni, said the party is shopping for like-minded and friendly political parties to form a formidable force and will field candidates tested through credible party primaries. Now, speaking in Kajiado town during the party grassroots Meet Supporters Forum, Kioni further said that the party is seeking to strengthen its grassroots support base countrywide. However, the grassroots supporters took issue with how the party affairs were conducted towards the polls, leaving them disgruntled.
tutafanya nominations kama vile inatakikana. Na wachukuru wale wote ambao wamesimama hapa kama aspirants wetu, kwa sababu nguvu ya chama pia ni wao viongozi ambao wamekuja kusema watawania viti kupitia Jubilee.
I am telling you with authority ya kwamba we'll have free and fair nomination.
Now, of course, let's head over to Meru County, where Meru Senator, who doubles up as the Senate Deputy Speaker, Kadhuri Murungi, has officially declared his interest for the Meru gubernatorial seat ahead of the 2027 polls. Speaking during the second edition of the mentorship program under the Inua Masomo Mashinani, Senator Murungi says his decision is as a result of what he says are cries by the people over the ongoing leadership wrangles that are impeding development. Mwangaza was impeached twice and reinstated by the court. The case is ongoing at the High Court.
Na vile tukiwa hapa, viongozi wengi hapa wameniomba ya kwamba sababu ya ile shinda iko Meru ya governance, wananchi wengi wamekuwa kiniomba, na pia hapa wale wote wamezungumza wamekuwa kiniomba niamue kusaidia Meru katika uchaguzi ule unakuja katika kiti ya governor. Na vile nimesikia kuna hiyo na hiyo shinda na kilio iko, ndio nimesema nimekubali huo mwito wa mwananchi, sababu wananchi wanaongea kulingana na sauti ya Mungu. Hawa wamwekero hiyo sauti na Mungu, na nimekubali hiyo sauti, sababu lazima tusaidie nchi yetu, lazima tusaidie kaunti yetu, na tuone vile inaenda vizuri.
Sitataka kuingia mambo mengi haswa ya siasa, kwa sababu Meru tuko katika hali mbaya.
A section of UDA supporters in Mombasa County are decrying what they say is exclusion from party activities in the wake of the formation of the broad-based government. Led by UDA Mombasa coordinator Samir Omar, they called for the involvement of leaders from the region in government affairs. Mildred Odinga, a UDA coordinator, says 44% of voters in Mombasa County voted for the Kenya Kwanza administration in the last poll, but most of them are yet to enjoy the fruits. She affirmed that they are not opposing the broad-based arrangement, but want UDA and ODM leaders to work together to fulfill the promises made to the region ahead of the 2027 polls.
Ikiwa leo masuala ya ardhi umetenga 1 billion na bado haijafanywa kazi, ina maana bado sisi viongozi wetu wamelala. Na ikiwa wao hawataweza kulifanyia kazi hao watu ulioungana nao wa Mombasa au pwani kwa jumla, basi sisi delegates wa mashinani tuko tayari kushirikiana na wewe kukuelezea matatizo ya masuala ya ardhi yaliyoko ndani ya Mombasa, haswa kule Kisauni, hapa Mvita, kule Jomvu na Changamwe, ili uweze kututatulia haya masuala ya maardhi.
Hatujakataa muungano uunganishwe, na kama kweli mtu ni kiongozi lazima ataleta mtu wa UDA na mtu wa UDM awaeke kwa pamoja. Na mimi niko na delegate 3,800 wenye tuliregister na Samiri na pesa yetu katika chama cha UDA. Delegate wetu wanalalamika hawajaitwa kwenye chama wakafanya kazi na chama.
Elsewhere, stakeholders in blue economy have called for enhanced research, use of technology and innovation to optimize the available opportunities that remain untapped in this sector. Speaking during the workshop that brought together educationists, industry leaders and policymakers in Mombasa County, speakers called for leveraging of knowledge to create a robust sector and ensure Kenya fully benefits from the available resources.
Educationists, innovators, industry leaders and policymakers gathered in Mombasa County to chart the way forward on the future of the blue economy sector and explore opportunities available in the field. According to the Mount Kenya University Deputy Vice Chancellor Dr. Maslin Kamande, the blue economy sector has numerous opportunities and students can be well equipped to respond to challenges that exist in the sector.
We want to develop our coastal centers as centers of excellence in the blue economy, and so the purpose for this theme is for us to be able to achieve this so that our researchers and our students can be able to focus on how we can be able to use research and innovation to build up the marine environment.
The dry land jobs are saturated, but right now we need to move to the marine space where the job opportunities are still plenty.
The government was also urged to improve maritime infrastructure to support deep-sea fishing and reduce dependency on imported fish products.
National Assembly Leader of Majority, that is Kimani Ichung'wah, now says critics painting the government in a bad light will not stop the government from delivering its promises to Kenyans. Speaking during a fundraiser to help over 200 whose businesses were destroyed in a fire tragedy in Kiambu, Ichung'wah claimed the government will not be deterred by bad politics against it. This as traders called for transparency, accountability and equality in sharing the over 20 million shillings realized during the fund drive.
Siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. Siasa nzuri, maisha nzuri. Sasa kama tunafanya siasa, tufanye siasa nzuri ya kuboresha maisha ya Wakenya. Na tufanye kazi sisi wote kwa umoja tukiboresha maisha ya mwananchi, au sio?
This time ningeomba at least hata sisi ambao tulikuwa na store zetu lakini si ile duka kubwa, hata sisi this time kama ni pesa ikigawanwa at least hata sisi tuangaliwe vizuri.
Elsewhere, a distressed family in Motiset, Cherangani is appealing for help to find their 24-year-old son, Abel Kiprop, who went missing in July last year. Kiprop was last seen heading to a local shop but never returned home. His family describes him as a calm and humble individual, raising fears that he may have been abducted. Despite extensive search through police and hospitals, there has been no trace of him. His mother, Regina Songol, is now urging the government to step in and assist in locating her missing son.
Ilikuwa last year mwezi wa 7 tarehe 15, na tangu siku hiyo tumejaribu tumetafuta kila mahali, tumetumia tu fedha mingi sana kumtafuta, tumeripoti kwa polisi kadhaa.
Niliambiwa alionekana Mailine, nikaenda hadi Mailine, nikaenda nikapatana na watu hapo Mailine kwa stage, watu wa bodaboda. Nikajaribu at least niuliza watu nione kama wanaweza kuwa alimuona, but ilitokea jambo that alionekana tu kidogo, but after that hakuwa alionekana tena.
Tumeenda kama familia mpaka hospitali kama referral kwa Mojari. Tumeenda district na referral ya Kitale, na tumejaribu kutafuta kila mahali lakini hatujafuata hapo.
Tunaomba tu penye mumemwona mtusaidie Kiprop arudi nyumbani. Hata kama atakwambia mingi, if you see kama yeye ni familiar face, please call us.
Twelve minutes past the hour, we need to take our first breather. Don't go too far, we still have more for you, especially in the world of sports.
Inua jamii karibu nawe kwa haraka na urahisi. Kwa sasa, malipo ya Inua Jamii yanapatikana moja kwa moja kupitia simu ya mkononi. Ikiwa wewe ni mmoja wa wanaopokea fedha hizi, hakikisha laini yako ina huduma ya pesa mkononi. Iwapo huna laini ya simu ya mkononi, tembelea duka la Safaricom au ajenti wa M-Pesa aliye karibu nawe ili usajiliwe kwa ada ya shilingi 100. Inua Jamii ni mradi wa fedha wa serikali unaolenga Wakenya walio na umri wa miaka 70 na zaidi, watoto yatima na watoto wanaoishi katika mazingira magumu na watu wenye ulemavu sugu, kwa kuwapa malipo ya kila mwezi. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako kwa niaba ya Wizara ya Leba na Huduma za Jamii.
From being childhood friends to high school lovers and now lifelong friends.
So he wrote to me a letter. Yeah, of suggesting. So when he wrote to me, I said, okay, let us pray about it.
When we went there, as we were coming together, the two of us,
Yeah.
I told her on the way.
Okay. He asked, what about my letter?
What about my letter? And that was her worry. She said that you are leaving a job which is well paid and you are now joining the ministry. What will happen to us as a family?
Yeah. We quarrel, we disagree a lot. But we come down and we forgive ourselves. And we pray and God helps us to heal.
Your wife is more important than the church. Why? Because the church is the bride of Jesus Christ, not your bride. So I usually tell them, listen, the Bible says that if one does not know how to take care of his own home, how can he take care of the church of Jesus Christ?
Maybe I don't know what love is. Maybe I'm a fool.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, residents of Kerwa in Kikuyu, Kiambu County organized a sensitization walk to create awareness on mental health. The move comes following an increase in cases of suicide in the area, with a majority of those cases linked to depression. Speaking during the sensitization campaign led by religious leaders, the area assistant chief Oweru Ngugi noted that some of the drivers of suicide include unemployment, harsh economic times and family conflicts. Catholic priests were from the Kerwa parish said that the church is open for counseling services to anyone battling depression.
Na ndio tunataka kuhimiza na kucreate awareness, wajue kuna nafasi za kusaidiwa katika wakiwa wamezombwa na mawazo ama wamepitia mambo magumu, wasione kama mwisho wa dunia umefika. Wajue kuna nafasi ya kusaidiwa.
Ni shida kubwa ya watu kusongwa na mawazo, watu kutotulia. Tuwe na sehemu kama hii ya kwetu kwa mapenzi na neema ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Hiyo ndio nia yetu ya kwamba siku zijazo hii hospitali iwe mojawapo ya taasisi zile ambazo mtu akiwa na shida akija hapa anaweza saidiwa na wale ambao ni specialists.
Everybody who feels like that is a mental health crisis, we're going to give them a space in our facility to unwind that. On top of that, we're going to set up a psychiatry unit where we will be seeing the psychiatric patients around Kerwa.
The Kenya National Association of Deaf has renewed its call for swift passage of the Kenya Sign Language Bill 2024 to ensure full accessibility and inclusivity for the deaf community. Speaking during its annual general meeting, the chairperson, Nixon Kakiri, emphasized the urgency to enact the law, stating that it will provide clear guidelines on communication accessibility, education and equal rights for deaf individuals across the country.
Established in 1987, the Kenya National Association of the Deaf has been at the forefront of fighting for the rights of deaf individuals in Kenya. At their annual general meeting held in Nairobi, the association held elections for the new office bearers, where concerns on accessibility in language were raised. Kenya National Association of the Deaf chairperson Nixon Kakiri pointed out that one major challenge was the limited screen space allocated to sign language interpretation on television broadcasts.
On the grid, kindly, if we can be able to expand on it, like for the hearing people, they're able to hear information, and for the deaf people are using their eyes as ears in order to capture information. So when the grid is very small, even a person who has visual challenges, they are unable to see that, and that is a challenge. And you find, like, for the deaf community, it's hard for them to get information, and that is communication barrier.
The association vowed to renew calls for fast-tracking of the Kenya Sign Language Bill 2024, which seeks to provide the use of sign language during judicial proceedings in schools and other public.
With this bill, it will be able to sort out many issues and about the judiciary, about sign language in courts, and every other areas. They're all incapacitated in this bill. So we have this law, and if the bill transcends to law, we can be able to have a clear guidance from the parliament.
Kenya Sign Language Bill 2024, sponsored by nominated Member of Parliament Harun Mohammed, has gone through its first reading in the National Assembly and is now at the committee stage where public participation is taking place.
Now, the government targets to increase the enrollment of students in technical and vocational education and training institutions by up to 2 million by the end of this year. TVET Principal Secretary Dr. Esther Moria has directed the training institutions to increase the uptake for learners to effectively equip youths across the country with necessary skill relevant to the current job market. P.S. Moria, who graced the 7th graduation ceremony at PC Kinyanjui Technical Training Institute in Dagoretti South, reiterated the government's commitment to facelifting the training institutions in a bid to boost the quality of learning and curriculum development.
We want to be at 2 million students in our institution by the end of 2025. Why? Because in education, we are about 100% transition. Last year, we had about 900,000, over 900,000 young people sitting their KCSE, and only slightly over 200,000 are proceeding to the university. That means about 720,000 young men are not going to the university, and we in TVET must bring them in.
Farmers have been urged to do soil testing and use certified seeds that are adaptable to climatic conditions within their regions. Speaking during a Farmers Open Field Day held at Meru University, KEFI's Managing Director Professor Theophilus Mutui emphasized the need for farmers to be aware of their area climatic condition to inform their farming technique. Further, he urged them to purchase seeds from certified outlets to avoid purchasing fake seeds. On her part, Meru Chief Executive Committee member in charge of agriculture, Dr. Faith Kinoti, urged farmers to make use of agricultural exhibition as a learning platform to enhance their knowledge and keep abreast with the changing technology in the wake of climate change.
Kwa hivyo tumekuja tufundishwe ili tujue ni mbegu gani ambayo tunastahili kupanda, kwa sababu kuna mbegu zingine unaweza upande alafu ukose mavuno.
Once they are sowed the seed, they should scratch while inside the agrovet. They scratch, they will get some digit here, and they send it to 1393, and they will be able to get a feedback which will say whether it is genuine or not.
Wanafunzwa na KEFIS na pia Meru University kupitia utafiti ambao wanafanya ili wakulima wetu waweze kusaidika kujua mbegu ambazo wanapanda kama zinafaa ama hazifai.
Kamba leaders held a high-level meeting aimed at strategizing key developmental priorities for the Kamba community. The meeting brought together leaders, professionals and members of the Ukambani Agenda Technical Team. Cabinet Secretary for Labour and Social Protection, Dr. Alfred Mutua, led the discussions and underscored the need for unity among Kamba leaders in tackling challenges faced in the region. He reaffirmed their commitment to driving sustainable progress and enhancing the region's contribution to national development. The leaders revealed their intent to finalize and submit a formal request for a meeting with President William Ruto to conduct a grassroots engagement, launch youth mentorship programs, and follow up on ongoing development projects linked to infrastructure, education, access to water, electricity, and job creation.
tumeongea kuhusu umoja, tumeongea kuhusu ukweli, sababu watu wetu wanapaswa kupata ukweli. Wanapaswa kuambiwa huu ndio ukweli, huu ndio uongo. Wanapaswa kuambiwa maendeleo ni haya, sisi ndio tunataka kufanya hivi, tutetee maendeleo ambayo tutakuja. Hivi leo tumeangalia maendeleo tofauti kwa sababu tunataka kwenda kumuona rais wetu William Ruto, tuweze kumueleza mahitaji ya watu wetu ambao walituambia kule Manzoni 1. Tumeangalia na tukaweza kurekebisha na kuongeza kabisa hali ya shida ya barabara ambazo zinatakana, hali ya masomo katika maeneo yetu, hali ya kupatikana umeme, stima katika maeneo yetu.
The National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF, in collaboration with Schools Equipment Production Unit, SEPU, has begun distributing mobile laboratories valued at 2.17 million shillings to all junior secondary schools in Manyata constituency. Speaking during the commissioning of 7 mobile labs at the Kithumu Primary School in Karurina, the National Government Constituency Development Fund NGCDF board member Elizabeth Kitundu emphasized that the labs provide a practical solution for schools with limited resources. She added that the initiative aims to enhance science education by addressing the challenges students face in accessing proper laboratory facilities.
Hii pesa kama tungekuwa tunajenga lab ingetosha. Sababu for those 7 schools we have spent 2.17 million. The benefit for these mobile labs is to expose our students, at least to enable the transition to the STEM.
Within the next 1 month, shule zote za Manyata zitakuwa na basic laboratory equipment ili watoto wetu wa JSS waweze kuendeleza maneno ya sciences. Na hapa leo tumepeana katika shule 7. Hizo shule zingine 48 tumepata approval na tumeweka resources. Na hii ilikuwa matching fund ya NGCDF na Ministry of Education kuhakikisha shule zetu zote zitakuwa na mobile laboratories.
To the world of sports, darts player Peter Washiri finished in 2nd place as Week 10 of the 6th edition of the Models Super Series came to a close in Portsmouth, England. Washiri lost 1 leg 2-4 to event winner Scotland's Scott Campbell in the final. In the journey to the final, Washiri defeated favourite Colin Oberson 4-3 in the semi-final. Prior to that, he had topped Group 2 of the finals night with a 4-1 win over Jamie Lewis and a 4-1 win against Campbell. Washiri's next major event is the International Paris that will be hosted in Paris, France from the 5th to the 20th of May this year.
Treble 20. It's James Scott Campbell, the brave.
And the Series 10, Week 6, Motor Super Series champion.
An incredible moment for Scott Campbell, the Scottish captain. But let's just take a moment for Peter Wachuri. He's been the headline act this week. He's dealt with it. He's made such an impact here at the Motor Super Series. But Scott Campbell, if he only had that belief, well, he's got it now. He's been a giant of a man. Look at the respect between the pair of them. He points to Peter. The crowd have been incredible this week, and a lot of that is down to the man from Kenya. I hope he can kick on from there, but the moment is about Scott Campbell.
Elsewhere, Kenya's Winfrida Mora and Vincent Kipkemboi finished 2nd and 3rd in the 2025 Women and Men Tokyo Marathons held this morning in Japan. Mora finished 2nd behind women champion Asefa Kabede, while Kipkemboi was 3rd in the men's race behind champion Tadasi Takele and 2nd placed Deresa Geleta, both of Ethiopia. Mora clocked 2 hours, 16 minutes and 56 seconds, just 25 seconds behind Asefa and 4 seconds ahead of Hawi Faisa, who was 3rd. Other Kenyans in the women's race was Magdalene Masai and Rosemary Wanjiru, while 4th and 5th respectively. Ethiopia's Tekele won the men's race in 2 hours, 3 minutes and 23 seconds to beat his compatriot, that is Geleta, and Kenyan Kipkemboi, who was 2nd and 3rd, while the other Kenyans in that race were Titus Kipruto, Benson Kipruto, and Geoffrey Torotich, who finished 4th, 6th and 7th position respectively. And finally, 2 FA Cup 5th round matches will be played today, with Brighton heading to Newcastle in the early kickoff, while Manchester United host Fulham at Old Trafford in the late kickoff. Crystal Palace, Preston and Manchester City were yesterday's winner of the 5th round.
What a chance for Gundogan, and perhaps the best of the lot and the closest of the lot, that's for sure. Sends out the signal, delivers the ball, and they've scored. And the power in the air, it's Talavierov. Foden leaves it, De Bruyne takes it, and the header is a very successful one from Nico O'Reilly. It is 1-1, those extra few seconds have been used very profitably. There's Bernardo Silva working it wide.
Well, we do know that Manchester United game that will kick off in the afternoon will be anything but entertaining. And of course, we do know that their former player, that is Anthony, who is currently on loan to Real Betis, has rediscovered his form since he was in Ajax. We do know how Manchester United play, and we wish them all the best. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Byron Abuli. Good afternoon for now.
Sensations seduce me, cause I do cherish you. She's a sparrow when she's broke. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me.
Now, while marriage is often considered a sacred and binding commitment, statements such as divorce is necessary or go further